Good morning. My name is Colin Osmore. My pronouns are he, him. Welcome to All Souls, where love is the spirit of our community. Whether you are joining us in person, online, in the present, or catching up with us later, please know that you matter to this community. Today you may find hope, love, and community here. Please rise and embody your spirit to greet your neighbor with your name and pronouns. People online, please introduce yourselves in the chat.
Thank you so much, Liz. That was beautiful. And thank you, Colin, for a great start. Hola, mi gente. Hola. Buenos días. Bien, gracias. Good morning. I'm the Reverend Katie Romano Griffin. My pronouns are she or ella. And today I am backup dancing as our young leaders take the center chancel as part of faith formation. Whose pulpit is this? Yes, oh my gosh, yes! Yes, it is yours. It is yours, all of yours. People of all ages in this congregation, this is your pulpit. And you know what? There's something in education called implicit and explicit curriculum. Explicit is the stuff that we're saying. Implicit is the stuff that exists, but we might not be saying out loud. And when I say whose pulpit is this, you might notice that this pulpit lowers and it raises. It is a theological statement that this pulpit is here for everyone in this congregation, all ages, all abilities, and for Phil Soper, we give thanks. Who speaks here who helps worship all crafts and determines how we grow together? Now, Nancy Olson, Director of Congregational Life and Faith Formation, and Liz Elsmore, our Music Director, pronouns she, her, They have been in conversation with our young leaders about today's service. And this is their vision. This is the vision of Colin, pronouns he, him, Ada, pronouns she, her, Elena, pronouns she, Aisha, Ian, pronouns he, him, Annalise, pronouns she, her. And I invite you today to bring the fullness of your attention and your care to this expression of faith on the chancel today. Please open your hearts and your minds to journey with our young leaders in this service as we honor their inherent worth and dignity as they share their learnings and reflections, music and wonderings, as they embody our UU values. And this is an invitation for you to revisit your expression and embodiment of your UU values. So let us journey together today. And know that every Sunday, people of all ages are joyfully welcomed in service, and also nursery care is available if that option works best for you. Please do complete a connection card if you would. Mine was upside down. You complete this card any way you want. But we'd love to know how you're doing and the best way to reach you. And if there's anything going on in your life, please let us know. They're also available online through our link tree. And for those in person, you can place it in the offering basket when it comes around later in the service. I have a few quick announcements. Next week, we are going to have a pitch-in after service, and we will be giving a good goodbye to Rev Dorian. I know. Now, Rev Dorian will stay on doing our digital ministry for about 10 hours a week through June, and then 5 hours a week starting in July. But you won't get to see Rev Dorian because they will be leading their Disciples of Christ congregation in South Bend. Yes. So we are going to honor that transition with ritual and a pitch-in. I hope you can make it. Now, after service today, we have a special adult forum upstairs on the 3rd floor. It's the Streets to Home Forum, and I hope that everyone will attend to learn more about the Streets to Home program. Now, Mayor Hogsett has agreed to continue to support Phase 2 of this program thanks to the work of the Indie Action Coalition and the Black Church Coalition. Woo! Huge thank you to everyone who was there on Thursday and showed up. I heard there were almost 500, maybe about 560 people showed up for this. Well done. Thank you, Lynn and Mary, for coordinating all of the folks from All Souls. It's a good showing, y'all. Thank you again to Phil Soper and Austin Mitchell for fixing the speaker, which did not work last week, so thank you. And as we continue our time together, let us acknowledge the land itself and those who've sustained it for the generations. We are upon the unceded land of the Lenape, Miamia, Kaskaskia, Shawnee, and Kickapoo people who were pushed from their land and whose children have been stolen for generations. As we strive to be a community of justice, may we continue to find ways to make real reparations. Thank you.
Good morning. The poem St. Francis and the Sow by Galway Canal. The bud stands for all things, even for those things that don't flower. For everything flowers from within of self-blessing. Though sometimes it is necessary to reteach a thing its loveliness, to put a hand on its brow of the flower and retell it in words and in touch, it is lovely, until it flowers again from within of self-blessing. As St. Francis put his hand on the creased forehead of the sow and told her in words and in touch blessings of earth on the sow. And the sow began remembering all down her thick length, from the earthen snout all the way through the fodder and slops to the spiritual curl of that tail. From the hard spininess spiked out from the spine, down through the great broken heart, to the sheer blue milk and dreaminess spurting and shuddering from the 14 teats into the 14 mouths, sucking and blowing beneath them. The long, perfect loveliness of sow. And if Bonnie and Jackie would like to come up and light our chalice today. And we'll have on video screen, Elena Leal will be leading the chalice lighting words today.
Good morning. My name is Elena Leal. My pronouns are she, her. The ritual of lighting our chalice reminds us to continually renew our promise to live into our covenant, to put love into action, and to live as a community of love and justice we aim to be. Please rise and embody our spirit as we share the words printed in our order of service in Spanish and English. If you are with us online, please let us know in the chat where you are lighting your chalice from. El amor es espíritu de esta iglesia y el servicio es su ley. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad en el amor y ayudarnos unos a otros. Este es nuestro pacto. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant.
Unitarian Universalists are many people who they admire for their ideas and the way they live their lives. We call them heroes and heroines. Our story today is one of those heroes in Unitarian Universalist history. This is the true story of Henry Berg, a Unitarian who lived a long time ago, from 1811 to 1888. This is a story of what Henry did about something that made him very angry. When Henry was an adult, he saw someone herding a horse, trying to make the horse move faster. Then he started looking around and saw that some people were herding other animals because they didn't think that the animals were as important as people were. Henry believed that all beings should be treated with kindness. Even though some people made fun of him for trying to help animals, Henry started the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, called ASPCA for short. The ASPCA helped to get the laws passed to take better care of animals. They created animal shelters for pets that people can't take care of anymore, so they could find a new home. The ASPCA still works to help children and grown-ups understand animals and how to treat them kindly. If animals could only talk to us humans, they could tell us how they feel and how they would like to be treated. The problems that they have today are not the same as the ones they had in Henry Berg's days, but some of them are just as serious. Here are some of the messages that animals might tell us if they could speak.
Remember to never leave a pet in a locked car on a hot day. The car can become like an oven and the pet can die.
If you see a wild baby bunny, do not touch it. The mother is probably hiding nearby and will not return if she smells human scent on them. Baby bunnies need their mothers to take care of them.
If you see a snake outdoors, stop and think before you run or try to harm it. Most snakes are not poisonous and are helpful because they eat rats and mice.
You wouldn't like a person to hit you or throw something at you, so don't throw things at animals.
People should be more careful about smashing glass bottles outdoors because the broken glass can cut the paws of animals.
People need clean water, good food, and exercise. Pets need these things too, and they depend on humans for them.
We remember Henry Berg because of his courage. He carried out his ideas even though people made fun of him. He never gave up on his ideas. We remember Henry Berg because of his kindness to animals. We remember Henry Berg as one of our UU heroes who worked to make the world a better place for animals.
Good job.
Yeah, awesome.
Good job.
And now, if you'll rise as you're able, and we'll sing hymn 175. We celebrate the web of life, its magnitude we sing. For we can see divinity in every living thing. A fragment of the perfect whole in cactus and in quail, as much in tiny barnacle as in the great blue whale. Of ancient dreams we are the sum, our bones link zone to star, and bind our future worlds to come with worlds that were and are. Respect the water, land, and air which gave all creatures birth. Protect the lives of all that share the glory of the earth.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Annalise Kinslow, pronoun she, her, and today I would like to talk about how animals have impacted my life. Animals have always been a big part of my life, and they taught me a lot about responsibility, patience, caring for others, and have helped shape who I am today. Growing up, my family has always had animals around, and they've taught me a lot of lessons about love, responsibility, and patience. Right now, my family has a 17-year-old blue heeler. She's been with us for a long time, and even though she's growing older, she's still been a really important part of our family. She's always been very loyal and protective, and she reminds me how much comfort animals can bring by just being around. When I was younger, we also had a cat who passed away when I was about 8 or 9 or 10, while I was gone at my aunt's. Losing a pet at that age really was hard because pets do become a part of your family. But it also showed me how special the bond between people and animals can be. It also made me appreciate the time we have with them even more. One of the biggest ways animals have impacted my life is through horses. I've been riding since I was really young, but I started taking riding lessons in 5th grade. Then, in 6th grade, I started showing. which would mainly be competing against other riders at your level or higher. Since then, I've been working really hard to keep improving and becoming a more advanced rider. Working with horses has taught me a lot. Horses are powerful animals, but they also need patience, trust, and care. Riding isn't always easy. There are definitely challenging days, but those challenges help me grow and keep pushing myself to be better. In the future, I want to keep showing more and compete at other barns too. One of my biggest goals is to eventually have my own horse someday. Horses are not just a hobby for me, they are a huge part of my life and my future. Horses aren't just something I do for fun, they're something I want to build my future around. After college, my dream job is to become an equine veterinarian, so I can work with horses and travel around the world helping animals stay healthy. Before I finish, I would like to share a couple quotes that have impacted me. By the way, I've already forgotten how to pronounce most of the people's names. Until one has loved an animal, a part of the soul remains unawakened. I don't remember how to say his name, but he's French. A dog is the only thing on earth that loves you more than he loves himself, by Josh Billings. And one for the horses. A horse doesn't care how much you know until he knows how much you care, by Pat something. Animals have taught me so many lessons throughout my life, and they have taught us how to care for others, how to be patient, and how to appreciate connections we have with them. I am really thankful for the animals that have been part of my life, and I'm excited to see where my journey with them takes me in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Annalise. So I was an intern, a ministerial intern in Port Charlotte, Florida, during the Pulse shootings. And I remember the Reverend Amy Kindred, who is actually, some of you may know because Rev Amy served in Indiana and lived in Indianapolis for a long time. I remember us just thinking that this was such a shock that the Pulse shooting happened and that we hoped something this horrible would never happen again. And this morning, as I went through my morning practice of prayer and writing and opening up the news to see what I might have missed over the last 24 hours to put in joys and sorrows, I had this moment of recognizing I'm a bit of a frog in a pot, and somehow I've developed this routine to be ready to make sure that I included something that may have happened while I was away from the news for more than 15 minutes. And I'm bringing that forward less about my process and more about, my goodness, beloveds, this is the world we are in. And we don't have to pretend it's normal. And we don't have to pretend that this is going to continue. We don't have to just try to survive it and kick as hard as we can in the hot pot. We still have power, we still have agency, and also we need moments like this every week where we can acknowledge what is happening in our own hearts, in our own families, in our immediate community, and in the larger world, so that we don't become numb and can still be creative and find the energy to gather. I'm pointing at Lynn with the Indie Action Coalition, Mary, that we keep gathering together on Sundays and in our larger community to turn the heat on the pot down and create a more just world. May we hold in our hearts all who are feeling the ripples of the attack on Temple Israel of West Bloomington Township, Michigan, all who are affected by the shootings at Old Dominion, all who are affected by climate change and acts of violence. Let us hold in our hearts all who are harmed by violence, war, colonialism, and climate change, just to name a few. Those of us who live with illness, seen and unseen, chronic pain, addictions, mental illness, we are not alone. I invite you to hold a moment of silence together with me as we acknowledge these joys and these sorrows in our hearts. May the goodness inside of each heart wake. May it glow and grow from an ember to a flame to something that is inescapable. And may it change the hearts and the minds of the people, and may the hearts and the minds of the people at large change the hearts and the minds of the people in power, so that together we may create a world of justice, a world of safety where all are treasured, where all can have food and shelter and safety and health care and love and so much more. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be. I invite you to rise and body your spirit as Ada leads us in singing hymn number 1007 in the Teal hymnal, There's a River.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing in my soul.
Thank you so much, Ada. Thank you. You might not know this, but I have a really big dog and a really old house. And these two things are important because we're talking about our pets today. But my really old house was built in the 1980s, and kind of like this building, it has issues sometimes. Now, Baxter, my dog, Baxter is about 105 pounds now. Most of it's drool. He's a boxer and mastiff mix, and he creates all kinds of calamity in our beautiful old home. Well, one night, Baxter woke me up somewhere around midnight because he needed to go outside. So I shot out of bed, and I'm running around the house, and I let Baxter out the door, and I'm not awake at all. I don't wake up until at least 5 a.m. most days. So I was very much in the middle of my sleep time. And I let Baxter in, and he's such a good boy. He sat right down for his treat. It's pitch dark in the house, and then I hear it. Drip, 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 drip. And I thought, no, there's a leak somewhere. So I start running around the house in the dark, and I'm checking faucets. Kitchen's fine. You know, the back bedroom's fine, the half bath is fine, but the drips are coming faster and faster. And part of me is thinking, am I asleep? Is this some sort of like telltale heart nightmare, you know, but with a faucet drip? Well, finally, I turn on a light, and I look over at Baxter, and there in front of him is a puddle of drool, and the drip, drip, drips that are coming faster are for Baxter, patiently waiting for his treat. Pets can be our comic relief. They can also save our health. They can help us to co-regulate our nervous systems and so much more. In December of 2022, Harvard Health republished an excerpt from an American Heart Association study which asserted that, and I quote, pet ownership, especially dog ownership, may be linked to a lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Harvard went on to say that a more recent review published in August 22 in the issue of Current Hypertension Reports reiterated that message. So having a pet officially appears to lower the risk of developing high blood pressure, and it is also important for those trying to control their blood pressure. We know it supports that having a pet can support those of us with PTSD. We know that it can support those of us who have seizures. There's so many ways in which our pets support us. And the main mechanism behind these particular studies that I quoted, they report, is that pets have a way to dampen the body's stress response. So that goes to that speaks to that co-regulation piece. And they do a lot of studies on dogs, but I just want to say, fear not, cat people. Because according to the article, there is also evidence suggesting that cat owners can have lower blood pressure too. But they do tend to notice that dog owners have a lower resting heart rate and lower cholesterol and triglyceride levels than non-owners. Very interesting. Now, PBS has a feature on the emotional lives of animals, and they offered this excerpt from Chapter 1 of The Case for Animal Emotions and Why They Matter. The author of this piece is Mark Bekoff. And I'm going to share with you what he wrote because his observation, word for word, is particularly important. Bekoff shared, many animals display their feelings openly, publicly, for anyone to see. And when we pay attention, what we see outside tells us lots about what's happening in an individual's head and heart. As we'll find, careful scientific research is validating what we intuitively understand. Animals feel, and their emotions are as important to them as ours are to us. A few years ago, my friend Rod and I were riding our bicycles around Boulder, Colorado, when we witnessed a very interesting encounter among 5 magpies. Now, magpies are corvids, and they're a very intelligent family of birds. One magpie had obviously been hit by a car and was lying dead on the side of the road. This is super sad. The 4 other magpies were standing around him. One approached the corpse and gently pecked at it, kind of like an elephant noses the carcass of another elephant. And then the corvid stepped back, and another magpie did the same thing. And then the next one of the magpies flew off and brought back some grass and laid it by their deceased friend. Then another magpie did the same. And then all 4 magpies stood vigil for a few seconds. And then one by one, they flew off. Were these birds thinking about what they were doing? Were they showing respect for their friend? Were they merely acting as if they cared? What the author says is yes and yes. They were showing respect. They were acting as if they cared. And he continues to say that this is normal behavior. And goes on to talk about how this was their way of saying farewell to their friend. We all need our rituals. Our rituals are in nature as well as in our own lives. And animals are teachers, messengers. Some faiths say saviors. Science proves they are co-regulators. And across time, animals have also been used to their detriment as warning mechanisms for humans. In the book of Genesis 2:15, we hear, "The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it." Now, this is one of the places in the Bible where humans are charged with stewardship of this planet. And that gets passed over a lot in our society. Some might say that we were given dominion over the planet, but I would argue that that's a mistranslation. And we were given stewardship. We were given a responsibility for everything on that planet. And I mean, how are we doing? Not so good. The IUCN, also known as the International Union for Conservation of Nature, reports that climate change currently affects at least 15,801 species on what is their red list of threatened species, increasing the likelihood of their extinction, imminent extinction. And according to the IUCN, a minimum of 882 plants and animals are already extinct. Now, in 2006, at our General Assembly, where Unitarian Universalist representatives and delegates gather from all across the world, once a year we meet and we vote on things that we care about, the direction of our faith. And in 2006, when we gathered, we voted for a statement of conscience regarding climate change, and this is what it declared. I quote, "Earth is our home. We are a part of this world, and its destiny is our own. Life on this planet will be gravely affected unless we embrace new practices, ethics, and values to guide our lives on a warming planet. As Unitarian Universalists, how can our faith inform our actions to remedy and mitigate global warming and climate change? We declare by this statement of conscience that we will not acquiesce to the ongoing degradation and destruction of life that human actions are leaving to our children and grandchildren. We, as Unitarian Universalists, are called to join with others to halt the practices that fuel global warming or climate change, to instigate sustainable alternatives, and to mitigate the impending effects of global warming and climate change with just and ethical responses. As people of faith, we commit to a renewed reverence for life and respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. This bold declaration reveals the urgency of recognizing our kinship with all life forms, from the chill capybara to the mighty boa constrictor, from the cheerful red robin to the regal lion, and even the drooly Baxter. As we gather here today, let us remember that our faiths are intertwined with each of these teachers, comedians, cuddlers, and even prickly porcupines that we share our planet with. May we be inspired not only to cultivate compassion and understanding for these beings, but also to act as stewards of a world. And may we find it in our hearts and our everyday practices to nurture all life. Let us honor the lessons that animals provide and commit ourselves anew to the sacred trust of caring for our planet and all of its inhabitants, recognizing that each creature plays a vital role in the intricate dance of existence. Together, may we forge a path of respect, compassion, and commitment to this interconnected web of life. May it be so. Amen, y amen, y blessed be. Thank you.
This week we are sharing our offering plate with the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, which reflects our UU values of compassion and interconnection of all things. To contribute, you can gift into the collection plate, online, cash, or check. You can go to allsoulsindy.org, where you will find a link that says donate on the top right corner. Please indicate if your gift is a pledge payment or if it is for Share the Plate, if you are paying online or using a check. Thank you for your generosity in supporting the mission of All Souls and for your continued love for one another and for this world. The morning offering may now be given and gratefully received.
Thank you, Ada. Thank you, Liz. Our closing words today were shared on the Reverend Ashley Horan's Facebook earlier this week. Ashley Horan is the vice president of the Unitarian Universalist Association and lives just blocks from where Renee Good was shot, and has been, prior to even working in her current role, was a longtime activist in the Minneapolis area. And she wrote these words as a love letter to Minneapolis, and I share them with you. Blessed are the immigrants, for they shall call home into being. Blessed are the observers, for they shall bear witness to the truth. Blessed are the song leaders, for they shall raise voices in hope. Blessed are the educators, for they shall shield children with care. Blessed are the students, for they shall become beacons of courage. Blessed are the artists, for they shall capture the beauty of our power and grief. Blessed are the faith leaders, for they shall proclaim our morality. Blessed are the marshals, for they shall protect our paths towards freedom. Blessed are the independent journalists, for they shall shine a light on reality. Blessed are the fundraisers, for they shall make miracles manifest. Blessed are the grocery shoppers, for they shall nourish our resistance. Blessed are the street medics, for they shall tend to our holy flesh. Blessed are the body workers, for they shall bring grounding and balance. Blessed are the organizers, for they shall channel despair into action. Blessed are the block captains, for they shall weave neighbors into networks. Blessed are the movement veterans, for they shall share the wisdom of history. Blessed are the newly awakened, for they shall be welcomed with joy. Blessed are all who hunger and thirst for liberation, for we shall inherit the future. Amen, and blessed be.
And now, if you'll stand as you're able, we will sing Somos al Barco. I'll sing the verses, you get to sing the chorus. The stream sings it to the river sings it to the sea sings it to the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. Now the boat we are sailing in was built by many hands, and the sea we are sailing on, it touches many sands. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. No, the voyage has been long and hard, and yet we're sailing still. with a song to help us pull together, if we only will. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, I sail in you, you sail in me. So with our hopes we raise the sails to face the winds once more. And with our hearts we chart the waters never sailed before. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in